Here we are, another Sunday Musicians Café. Hello everyone. Let's make sure everything works properly. I'm very excited for today's talk with Ignas. It's gonna be incredible. And he's such a good musician. And let me see if everything is working properly. If anybody wants to drop a message in the chat, just to make sure everything is working properly, you can see me, you can hear me. Hopefully we are drinking our coffee and enjoying the Sunday. So in a few minutes I will invite Ignas. I'm really excited for this conversation we'll have. And Ignas is a good friend of mine and a fantastic musician, and hopefully you will notice immediately. And yeah, we met actually because we have friends in common. So that was, oh, thank you, Simone. I think the thumb up was for the technological okay. Yes, everything is working. Fantastic. Okay, so should we invite him? Yes. This is the 6th episode, I think. I'm very happy that this is going quite well. We had some problems with, again, with audio or video, but you know, you learn doing it. So it's always working in progress. I'm gonna say hi to everybody in the chat. Hi Simone, hi Samuele, Ignas is here, and Matilda. Ciao. Okay, let's invite him. And Sunday Musicians Cafe. How are you guys? All good? You drinking? You're enjoying the Sunday? Ignas! Hey!
Oh, hello. 1 minute. I think I have to connect my headphones.
Okay.
Somehow, because there's some kind of
Sure.
problem. Is it okay if I talk without headphones?
I think it's perfect, actually.
Yeah, that's great because then we can all hear each other and yeah. So hi Pietro. It's amazing to be here on your beautiful podcast. It is such a great idea actually to to talk with your fellow musicians and kind of learn from each other, and at the same time grow each other, which is the most important thing in the life probably. So I'm really excited to be here, and and we can have a nice conversation about musician issues, musician problems, challenges, as well as how to be better each day. And yeah, I'm really excited.
Wow! Thank you so much, Ignas. I didn't expect all of this kindness at the beginning.
No.
That's so nice. Thank you so much. No, of course. I mean, this initiative is, as I was saying, is very relaxed conversation, and it's nothing like incredibly. It doesn't require too much effort actually to have a conversation between friends. So I was thinking, why not to have this for the people, for everybody, and
exactly. Yeah, it's a great initiative from your side. It's already the 6th episode of your podcast, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing. You're doing really well. And this motivation, this inspiration from you, which is coming, it's really inspiring. So yeah.
But you're really, I mean, I didn't expect all of this. I'm not prepared. I mean, psychologically.
No.
You're filling my heart with joy. Seriously, thank you so much. Okay.
Yeah.
As you can see, guys, I mean, Ignas is a fantastic human being already, and I think we could stop here because you're incredible. I mean.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
No, we have to talk. So let me introduce you guys, Ignas, and say a couple of things about him. And yeah, let me just have here. I had here his bio. I mean, he has an incredible website. So I was going to the website just to read you out a bit of the bio.
Yeah.
You should go to his website. It's actually very good. So that's it. I don't know that's it. So actually, you are still at the RAM, right? So you studied
Yes.
at the RAM with the Joanna McGregor on a full scholarship, and then
Yes.
And you still doing the master on a full scholarship again with
Exactly. So I started my journey here in London in 2017 September, when I was still 18 years old, after graduating the high school. And probably my top three choices were here in London. So Royal College of Music, Royal Academy of Music, and Royal Conservatoire in Scotland.
Okay.
And somehow I was so inspired by the amazingness of Joanna McGregor, and she liked my playing as well, at the auditions, and somehow we find this connection. And since 2017 September, I became her student, and until now, I'm still the student, and every lesson is kind of full of joy, full of new ideas, really inspiring. And I'm studying now the second year of Master of Arts, still at the Academy on full scholarship, and I'm looking to the next year, which will be advanced diploma course, which is even more focused, on the importance of performance.
Okay.
And of course, my teacher will be Joanna McGregor. But as we all know, in such institutions, like Royal College or Royal Academy of Music, we have other great visiting professors, and it's always, amazing to get knowledge from them as well. And, sometimes play through the program and get this needed experience as well. So yes, I'm really enjoying my time at the Royal Academy of Music. As you can see, it's been 6 years, and next year it will be the 7 years. So that's quite a long time, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. I mean, I think I think this is very important in general. Like, we choose conservatoires and schools because of the professors. Obviously, because of also the prestige they have. But the professor is what actually makes the difference, no, in our choices. So if you really get along with the professor, and for me it was very much the case with 𝐦𝐨𝐦𝐞𝐧𝐭 in college, and I had other choices like Royal Academy as well, the audition. But if you get along with the professor, you have to go with that, because obviously you're gonna spend the majority of the time with the professor, and you want to grow. So no, you're doing great. You're doing great, of course, and I know perfectly that all the students of Joanna McGregor, they are incredible. So you're winning competitions. Actually, let me tell you something about him. I mean, this is incredible. But in July 2021, Ignas received the Queen's Commendation for Excellence as highest scoring graduate of the Royal Academy. So well done.
Thank you.
Very good. And also, you're receiving so many prizes, and you're doing competitions. There is one very close coming up, right? Can we talk about that?
So I can tell you about that. So on the 2nd of June, actually at 3 p.m. probably, I'm not sure about that yet, but the 𝐦𝐶𝐻𝐵 Young Classical Artists Trust finals will take place at Wigmore Hall. And six and really five, including me, amazing finalists will perform, at the Wigmore Hall. And after that, some of them will be winners and be selected to be artist of 𝐦𝐶𝐻𝐵 Young Classical Artists Trust. And this organization is really amazing. It's really prestigious trust, which gives a lot of opportunities for the winners. For free 5 years concert management, around the world in different concert halls, really helping as well with your branding, with your image as an artist, and just helping to be the best you can, which is so important nowadays, because there's so many great musicians, right? Like, and you have to be really something like special. You have to be different and unique in your own kind of area. So.
Fantastic. I totally agree with you. And yeah, 𝐦𝐶𝐻𝐵 is a very nice reality, and I've had the fortune to meet some of them. One of the events I organized, they came and to see. I think I don't know. They've been invited by someone, I guess. But it was nice to see they were appreciating my job or the job of all the team really. And yeah, they are great. They are great. And I heard so many good things and good feedbacks from the musicians. Maciej, the Polish cellist, is a friend, and he's very good.
Okay.
He's a 𝐦𝐶𝐻𝐵 artist.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. So we might play together actually soon. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, 𝐦𝐶𝐻𝐵, good luck with that, because you actually deserve it. I think you would be a very good artist, and they are doing, as you said, a very good job. So you're gonna get the majority of the things from them. So okay,
thank you so much.
A bit with your bio and introduce you a bit more for the chat. I mean, just a quick thing. So you did the Bachelor of Music at the Royal Academy on a full scholarship? and then in September 2021 you started your master degree, the Royal Academy again, and now you're starting again, as you said, continuing in the Royal Academy. So as a soloist as well, you appeared at Steinway Hall in London.
Yes.
That was great. That was great. And the Auditorium du Louvre in Paris, and Charlottenburg Festival Hall in Copenhagen, and Landreth Hall in Forsworth, and Lithuania National Philharmonic in Vilnius. You know, I'm so willing to go to Vilnius, because actually Vilnius is the motherland of Heifetz, and I'm incredibly my idol, you know, and I'm dying to go to Vilnius. I've been, you know, I did research on the Ciurlionis, you know, and everything connected to Vilnius and Heifetz, you know. In high school, I did a little thesis about Heifetz, and I was connecting all the things, and I fell completely in love with Vilnius, but I've never had the chance to go. So maybe we should go.
Yeah, it's such a great idea, you know, for you as a musician, you know, to come to Vilnius, because Vilnius is a really beautiful city. It's you know, people are calling it undiscovered gem of Europe, because, you know, like for many years we were under Soviet occupation, and, you know, we were really in a bad condition for many years. But in these last 30 years, when we have our independence, the Vilnius became one of the most beautiful cities in Europe, actually. You know, everything is clean, everything is so cute, you know, the smells are good, there are not a lot of people, and the architecture, actually Italian architecture, as we, Lithuania, you know, in the medieval times, were really, really huge country, actually one of the biggest in Europe, if not the biggest at some point. And then, you know, during the years we had many occupations, but during that best time of our history, like in the 15th, 16th century, so many Italian architects came to Vilnius and started building churches and other, you know, objects. So you can really feel the, you know, the architecture of Baroque, especially, and especially the Vilnius Old Town is a beautiful place to be. Also, we have, you know, many concert halls which are, you know, great, good acoustics, and the classical music level is really quite high. Okay. Comparing, you know, to the level in the Europe, because people, you know, we as students, we go to the best European kind of music schools, and then bring that knowledge to Lithuania, which I think is a great thing to do. Me personally as well, you know, after graduating, I'm not really sure where the life will take me, but deeply in my heart, I think it would be very nice to come back to my home country. And to really bring this culture, this knowledge, all these connections to Vilnius. So maybe in the future, you know, there'll be a nice piano festival or something like this. You know, who knows? So Pietro, yes, if you have time, you know, this summer, please come to Vilnius. I'll show you around, and maybe we'll play in the streets. You know.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I wish one day I will come for sure, because I'm really attracted to this city. So yeah, and you play with the Philharmonic, right?
Yes. So a couple of times. The National Philharmonic is probably one of the best concert halls in Lithuania. There's a beautiful acoustics and lots of seats for the audience, so, you know, everybody who wants to listen can be there. And the director,
tell us about how do you prepare in general, like orchestral performances. So when you play as a soloist, how do you prepare yourself for that?
Oh, so yeah. So I'm very lucky that I played with quite a lot of orchestras, maybe 15 or 16. And every time, you know, it's a real joy to collaborate, because this is some kind of chamber music, as we say. You know, even if you're a soloist, you have to be immersed in all the instruments and all the timbres, and kind of, you know, imitate those timbres in your playing as well, to make this conversation, which is so important. Probably the most important thing is the conversation, you know, between the soloist and the orchestra. So that's what I work the most in my practice sessions before the performances, you know, with orchestra, to really study the orchestra part. You know, I said before, all these different instruments and solos of the instruments, which may, you know, repeat in the piano part, and kind of, think about timbres, about the structure. And also, it's an important thing to work well with the conductor and kind of find this good relationship, because sometimes conductors can be a little bit selfish, if I may say. So it's important to understand each other well and kind of communicate well, to show your ideas to conductor and ask if he's okay about that. Because, you know, during the performance, there are some funny things can happen if you don't do this. So, no,
you're completely right. I played a couple, maybe 4 or 5 times with orchestras as a soloist, and And you're right. I mean, working with a conductor actually makes the difference, because then everybody, I mean, you're very glued to the orchestra in a way, because he's like he knows what you want to do, and you know, you're free of doing what you want. Yeah, you're right. Is there any kind of mental preparation? So when you practice at home, do you like imagine to play with the orchestra, or you know, something like?
Oh yes. So of course, of course. I mean, the most important thing is, you know, to know the orchestra part well, because of course you have to know where to start playing and where are your entries. But like all the tutti are so important as well, and this collaboration, which is the most important thing. I believe so. And during the preparation, you know, as you know, in solo preparation, it's also very important to, you know, for example, playing Mozart sonatas. As we know about Mozart, you know, he composed many operas and many symphonies as well. So he was some kind of orchestral composer as well, and he composed many solo pieces on the piano, which sometimes replicates, you know, the things which he written in symphonies or operas. So it's important to really imagine those instruments when you play solo, and when you play with orchestra, it's even more so. You know, talking about Mozart concertos, there are many beautiful places which you
is that connected to that. I think is so. I was actually wondering. I mean, I do it in my practice routine when I'm preparing something to play with an orchestra, and I tend to practice also the part of the orchestra. So to play and, you know, try to find the similarities with the solos part or the differences. So you do that as well, I guess.
Yes, of course. But like, the most important thing, you know, is also to listen to recordings, to many recordings, and just to see, you know, how the music flows and what are ideas of other musicians, and not to kind of copy them. No, I'm not saying this, but just to hear what are the possibilities of this piece, you know, which was written many you know, years ago. So usually that recordings also really help you to understand the flow, the structure of the piece, which you later can try to improvise a little bit from your side and make very personal, as it's so important. You know, we can talk about uniqueness of musicians and kind of interpretation as well later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we are actually interpreters because of that, you know. So connected to that, on the practice room, would you suggest, I mean, do you have you ever experienced any performance anxiety, or, you know, like how do you cope with being in the spotlight? I mean,
yeah, so the performance anxiety is
feel free to share it if you want or not.
No, of course. So the performance anxiety is, you know, every musician experiences this, right? It's such a humanly thing to experience. And we just don't like to be on the stage, most of us, right? And somehow we have to be brave enough to go there, to expose yourself to hundreds of people who, most of them are also, you know, music lovers, and they understand that situation. But that is what is so exciting to be. Like when you go to the concert, you know that person is so nervous, and he's gonna be the spotlight of the highlight. The most important person in the room, right? Yeah. If we're talking about solo concerts. And, you know, he has to bring this idea, he has to bring this concept of music, and kind of find the right balance between composer's wishes and his wishes, and somehow, you know, make a great night. So then the anxiety kicks in, because you have this responsibility, basically, you know, to be the best you can, and kind of deliver really, you know, the best thing you can. And for me, there are three things probably. So the most important thing is preparation.
Okay.
So of course, as we all know, you know, the preparation is so important. So, you know, you just have to study the piece as much as you can, and give as much time before the performance as you can. So that means discipline and thinking ahead, and making plans ahead, and trying not to accept things, you know, 2 days before, if possible. Of course, sometimes these things, like talking about things, accepting very quickly the performances, you know, taking replacing artists. For example, this summer I went to auditions on the 10th of July. I mean, for some living expenses, you know, to one of the trusts. And after those auditions, somehow my teacher called me and told me, you know, Ignas, sorry, you know, I fell down the stairs, you know, I'm really bad condition. Oh. Can you replace me? She is okay. That wasn't that serious. Okay. But she told me, Ignas, can you replace me in a concert in 2 days?
Wow.
And, you know, I'm performing, we have to perform like 90 minutes full recital of 2 parts. And, Ignas, can you do this? And, I was, of course, Professor McGregor, I will do this. This is such a great opportunity. Thank you so much. And yes, I did that. So I had to play a huge program and kind of really refresh all the pieces immediately, wow, which was a challenge. But with the overall experience, of that festival was Buxton Festival in July, which is a very important opera festival, but they also have like a solo performance section, concerts as well. So that experience really enriched me as an artist, and also, that you have to be really quick, wow, if you're an artist, and you have to, accept these things immediately. So that, yeah.
So basically, in 2 days, you refreshed a program of 90 minutes.
Yes, but the good thing is, in July, so before in June, I had quite a lot of performances, so I was able to take some pieces from those past performances and kind of play them again. So that's another thing which we can talk about later. It's about repertoire. Yeah. The repertoire is the most important thing. Like, you have to learn as many pieces as you can while you are young, because our brains are fresh, and we have to push ourselves to the maximum and to learn everything we can. Because when you're 30, it's not the same when you're 20. Yeah. It's just more difficult to remember stuff. So anyways, so about preparation. If we're talking about preparation, so yeah, it is so important to do practice, slow practice, as we all do, listening to every note, to every interval, and as we all know that the perfection is the thing we are seeking in the classical music, it is so important to try and to kind of disable all the phones, all the distractions which are possible, and kind of really immerse into the practice experience. I mean, sometimes I also keep my phone, and I sometimes check my Facebook or Instagram. It's just a part of our time, right? But you have to try to be immersed 100% in the practice and really listen to every note. It's all about the ear, I think, especially when you're playing from memory. So yeah, the preparation. Also, there's a mental practice, which actually conductors are doing much more than we artists, because we pianists or string players, we sometimes are too lazy to do that, because it's right, Pietro, like it's quite difficult, right, to take the music of score and not play and look at the score and really imagining all the right fingerings, all the right intervals in your head. What do you think about this?
I completely agree, and I struggled very much on doing that in the past. Now I'm doing much more of this kind of mental preparation, which I found very helpful, actually, because imagine your finger moving, it helps a lot the fingers to move then, because you already process the information with your head. And it's true, it's so true. But when I was younger, I was very skeptical and saying, no, but that's not going to work. I mean, actually it works. So it's also like, I think it's not only, it's more kind of for your self-esteem as well. I think it helps a lot on like feeling comfortable with the fingering to decide it, so you get to know the piece in different ways. So not just with the sound, but also So I think absolutely you're right. Yeah.
We have to remember, that our brain is not in our fingers; it's here. And it's when we do mental practice, it's all about our imagining in our head. So, like, of course, when you do practice, mental practice, and you look at the score, and the imagination is so important. Like, and you have to be focused 100%, because if you are starting thinking about something else, then everything is kind of gone. And that's the danger when you're practicing, when you're not doing mental practice. You know the piece so well, and you're just playing through, and it becomes kind of a really normal thing to do, and you're not really thinking about piece, and it becomes very kind of, what's the word? I mean, it's just very, very normal, And every minute of your practice, if you want to have a sufficient practice and have results, it has to be like 100%. So that's why, I'm a morning person myself, so I like to, wake up early and, from 9 to 12, dedicate this time, for a cup of coffee, like I have it now. And kind of really, try to go away from all the distractions and immerse into classical music. Because later when the recital comes, when the day of the recital comes, you have to, in order to feel confident, you have to know that you are prepared as much as you could. And that's another thing, how the performance anxiety can be easier. It will never disappear, the performance anxiety will always be there. And for some people, you know, as older you get, it's worse it become. So the preparation, number one thing. Another thing about this, if you don't want to add anything about preparation, yeah. Another thing, like how to get rid of this performance anxiety, I think is, of course, performing experience. And like, if you have a new piece and you're very nervous about that new piece, and you know that you have a recital in 2 days, and you just memorize it. Actually, yesterday I had this recital, you know, in Oxford and Limsfield Society, which was the first concert of Counter of Munster Trust recital scheme, which I became last year. And I mean, that recital scheme kind of gives you 8 concerts in the 2003-24 season, like in different clubs around UK for music lovers, mostly for the music clubs. And anyways, they organize these concerts. So yesterday was the first one, and I played a program of Schubert Impromptus, Schumann Fantasy, and Schubert Last Sonata, which is a huge program. Like, it's like 110 minutes, something like this. It's crazy. But there were 2 parts, of course. So the first part I started with Schubert Impromptus, and Schubert Impromptus for me are very new. I just started, you know, a few weeks ago, and I memorized them, you know, a couple days ago. So I was really nervous to play that. Because you know, we all know that Schubert requires 100% perfection in order to be effective. Schubert is all about this note perfection thing, where we have to control every note, and every kind of unevenness, it just destroys the whole thing. So it's really important to be, you know, for string players, probably it's important to be in tune 100% correctly. You can't hide things. You are exposed as in Mozart. Only in Schubert you have more texture. So you know, you can experiment with some voices. You can be more romantic than in Mozart, I guess. So anyway, so that experience for me with Schubert Impromptus was really stressful, and at some point I was feeling so bad. I didn't have memory gaps. That's okay, but I was so close to having that. And then I reminded myself, you know, Ignas, that's the first time you're performing this, and this is essential part of becoming better. That, you know, these challenges are always will be with you when you're playing the new pieces, and you know, you just have to do this. You know, that's the life of a musician.
Absolutely, I think you touched many good, very important points. In that they all they fit all in this kind of effective practice routine that we should have. And I think is performance experience is something that we look at as a negative normally, because we are with a negative side, because normally we are scared of performances, right? But we treat performances as a practice routine. So we should practice in front of other people. That's my opinion. And also, like, you know, like every performance is actually a way to practice. So it's not, you know, there are performance of different levels. And if you want your performance to be at the top level of your life, you have to, you know, to perform that piece that you want at the best. Imagine, like, you know, I don't know, for you, maybe Tchaikovsky concerto, for everybody, you know, Tchaikovsky concerto. You want that to be, to record that as a CD, or, you know, to have the best performance that you could imagine. So in order to do that, you need to practice that many times in front of other people, in smaller halls, in front of less people, maybe at the beginning. This is actually interesting. I don't know what you think about this, but normally I feel more nervous when less people are watching me, rather than a lot of people watching. So if I have a big hall, like 1,000 people, you know, I was performing not solo, but with other people in l'Arena di Verona a couple of years ago. And it's like 3,000 people, something like this. Yeah, it's big. And I was feeling so good, you know, like supercharged. You know, I was feeling like, of course you are nervous, but you also have this kind of energy that comes from the audience. When actually, when I play in front of my parents, or 2 people or 3 people in the room, I'm more nervous, you know. Why that happened? Or did you experience anything like similar?
I mean, for me, we can go a little back. So, like, you know, practice is so important, you know, when you're doing by yourself, and then you're playing the pieces, you know, you're playing the repertoire you prepared for yourself. For example, you know, recording yourself in your studio and you are alone in the room, and somehow, you know, you're always feeling very comfortable because you did this many times, and then the time comes, you know, you have to perform for your friends. Oh my gosh, this is so stressful. Like, you know, especially if the friends are also musicians, you know, I like, you know, for me, the pianist, you know, listening to me. So it is a lot of nerves to be taken, but it's also essential experience. But somehow I didn't notice, like, personally, this difference when I'm playing like for only few friends or playing for a huge auditorium. Somehow it all depends on many factors, you know. It depends on your level of preparation. It depends on the acoustics also, you know. If it's very, very dry, especially like when you're playing the piano, the acoustics are very dry. You know, every slips, every little mistakes, you can hear very, very well, and that triggers you. And you know, once you did in a passage like little mistakes, then you think you can't get rid of this thought the whole performance. So it also depends on the acoustics, I think. And depends on the instruments. For us pianists, you know, as you know, we have to change the piano. We have the different pianos every performance. So we have to also, if the piano, you know, is heavy or light. For me personally, I prefer light keyboards. And you know, it also depends on the technique of the piano and so on. So I didn't notice personally, but it all depends, you know, on many factors. And I think the most important thing for us is just perform as many times to the people, to the audience as we can, because that gives us some kind of confidence. And yeah, and last thing, like I told you 3 things about, you know, performing anxiety and how we can avoid this. So preparation, you know, performing experience to your friends and to your and to the audiences, and you know, just playing as many concerts as you can. And the last thing I think is just to enjoy the beauty of the moment, you know, because we have to remember like that why we are playing this instrument, and we know that this is so difficult to achieve this perfection, and like why would you spend the whole life seeking this perfection if you not 100% in love with music? And then you take a look at your past, you know, what experiences you had, you know, what concerts you had, how many people you met, and you know that your life was great most of the time. Of course, there were so many difficult moments where you're thinking of quitting, but then you remember that it's really good that you moved on, and you know, although you had some bad things, those bad things turned to good things, you know, later. It just made you a stronger person. And you know, to enjoy the beauty of the moment, this phrase, and to enjoy the beauty of the moment. I remember in our first year of bachelor at the Royal Academy of Music, there was a lecture by Tim Jones. He's deputy principal at the Royal Academy of Music. He's very, very smart man, and he is a professor of Mozart history, and he's just amazing. So anyways, he was telling a lecture about Mozart.
Okay.
And I remember this phrase when he told me, like, not to me, but like to 100 people in the auditorium, like to enjoy the beauty of the moment. And I wrote this into my iPad, you know, like, Ignas, look, you can think about this phrase when you're doing many things, not only practicing the piano, you know. Enjoy the beauty of moment when you're running. Even if it's raining, you can enjoy the beauty of the moment because you are alive, you know, you can see, you can hear, you have friends, you have family which support you, and then remember all the good things, and then just enjoy the beauty of the moment. And I think nowadays, like, people just forget. We have so many things, we have so many distractions, you know, social media, YouTube, Netflix, and all other things. We just forget sometimes, you know, how to be alive, and this enjoy beauty of the moment somehow really fits to the music as well, because you remember that you love the music, you have the people who support you, that you know that you are well disciplined, that of course you have difficult moments, and somehow you go through them, and then grow, of course. And when people notice that you enjoy the beauty of the moment in the concerts, when you really enjoy what you play, that's why it's so important to choose the pieces which you love, because if you play the pieces which were forced to you, then it's a really bad thing. So when you choose the pieces which you love, and you know, you spend countless hours on that working, and then you enjoy the beauty of the moment after, you know, all the preparation, all the concert experiences, and all the memory gaps you experience. Finally, you reach this enjoyment, which is worth it, you know, after all these hours.
Man, this was so inspirational. Thank you so much. And I think that we can leave it like this and call it a day, because this is, I will stick it to the wall as well, you know. I enjoy the beauty of the moment. That was really, really good. I think I like to I don't know why in every episode, or maybe almost every episode, I quoted some late Latin sentences, but that reminds me of hic et nunc, of what the Latin they would say, which means here and now. So it means like this kind of a mindfulness, and what you were saying, enjoy the beauty of the moment,
exactly,
and present in like with all your person,
spirit.
you know?
Yeah. Being present in the moment right now and enjoying the beauty of the moment, you know, because life is short, you know, as cheap as it sounds, but life is short, right? We all know, and somehow when you love what you do and just enjoy, you know, the presence, and enjoy all the challenges you have at this moment, somehow it really makes sense, and kind of it's
so much, Ignas. Thank you so much. Really, I think I can close the live like this because it's incredibly good. And hopefully, I'll see you very soon for a drink or something around. And
please come to Vilnius in summer. You know, I'll show you around. I'll drive you with my car.
I would love. I saw some nice pictures of your car. Actually, I would love that.
Yeah, I have a separate page. So please check in my bio. I have a separate page of my car where I post some car stuff.
Very good. I will. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ignas, and hope to see you soon. And good luck with the white cat competitions. I hope I will come to listen to you. I think I have it in my calendar. And yeah, so see you. Thank you so much for being.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this. Yeah. Have a good day. Yeah.
Bye. Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao. Guys, that was so incredible. I mean, that was really inspirational. And I agree 100% with what he was saying. Enjoy the beauty of the moment. That is really good. And it's so true as well. I mean, we nowadays we have many people telling us, you know, that mindfulness is very important. You know, be present, and you know, don't overthink, or you know, but actually doing it is tough. It's not easy. I don't know what you think, but I actually find it hard. And having such an inspiration from a friend of mine in this moment, it gave me like chills. I got emotional, you know, and that is really good. I'm so happy that this podcast is going in this direction, like motivational and stuff. I didn't plan that to be like this, but I really think it's worthy to talk about these things. So thank you for being here, and see you next Sunday for another episode. Fantastic guest as well next Sunday. And yeah, please follow Ignas and look up at his website, which is hisname.com. And yes, please follow us on the social media. Hopefully, we'll post many inspirational things and some of our performances. Thank you so much. Bye.